Has it always been there and I've never
It's all
noticed?
there. 3, 2, 1. We count down every time.
Oh my God.
You've never known?
Never noticed it. It was the first time the other day on the Sugar Craft Junkies.
Yep.
Anyway,
Counts us down.
hello.
Hello.
Hello, Bronya. How are you today?
I'm we're recording this on Friday, and I am very happy it's Friday.
Mm.
How are you?
I'm not having a weekend really, so
Oh.
I don't really care that it's Friday. I've been out this week already and I had some prosecco's.
Oh, you are like the social animal at the moment, aren't
Yeah,
you?
yeah,
Yeah.
I am, and I'm ready for my bed, but I've just got a couple more jobs to do afterwards, which will
Yes.
take me 10 minutes, allegedly.
Yeah. I was going to say that. I know what you've got to do. It ain't going to take you 10
Yeah.
minutes. But in your head, if that's what you are telling yourself, I'm
Yeah.
not going to burst
Well,
that bubble.
I'm ready for it. I've prepared everything. So,
Yeah. You'll be
which,
fine.
yeah, of course we will. Of course I will. I'm
Yeah, of course you will.
amazing. So,
Um, yeah, go on.
I was just going to say, tonight we're going to be talking about routines.
Yes, it's funny because when I mention this to talk about, I'm like, yeah, I'm sure we can talk. And the more I've looked at it, and more like,
Yeah.
it's actually really
Oh
important.
my gosh. And even though I'm a very disorganized person, I actually don't realize what routines you have
Yeah,
already
naturally, how many
installed.
you've got. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It is incredible. And now, so because I looked it up and I was like, well, why should we have routines? And as humans, we love routine.
Mm,
And I know it sounds really dull and really boring that
mm.
we have routine, but it creates a structure in our life that
Yeah.
de-stresses us
Yeah.
and
Makes it just
helps our mental
nice.
health,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh yeah,
Because
I
if you
hadn't
think,
thought about that.
well, I was reading about it and they were saying it was about, if you think, so 3 years ago, we went into lockdown.
Yeah.
So 3 years ago, like in the last couple of weeks, we went into lockdown. And how many people had problems
Yeah.
because their routines had been disrupted,
Yeah.
and how like mental health and
Oh
depression and
my God.
stress and tension and all the rest and
Yeah.
anxiety, because your Jack, he had anxiety
Yeah.
through lockdown, didn't
Oh,
he?
very much so. Very much so. He
And it's
yeah.
a lot of it is because your normal routines just thrown out the window.
Yeah.
Just everything was.
And it's still affecting him now with I know he's always had insomnia, but even now the whole like social aspect of it and
Yeah,
going out, I know it's affected a lot of people.
yeah, yeah, and it really has. And that was because as a whole we had a break in routine.
Mm,
As an entire nation, or as an entire world, actually,
yeah.
our routine was all of our routines were just stopped.
They were
And
tits up.
but that is one of the biggest. If you think of it as a social experiment, that's like the biggest social experiment to prove we need routine.
Yeah,
You know
definitely.
that we need it.
Because I
Um,
can remember writing on a memo board every day what day of the week it was.
really,
Yeah, I'd get up in the morning and I'd write, today is Monday, and I'd put a funny quote underneath it. Because how many times did you go, what day is it?
yeah,
It was like Christmas holidays, in that the
yeah,
in
like
between.
Twixmas. But it went on for months
And
and
months.
months
And then it
and
got back
months.
to normal and then it happened
And they didn't
again.
get back to I mean, I did weird things like I went shopping
Mm,
because we don't do a regular shop in this house. Um, we haven't done for years and years and years. There's
mm.
only two of us, so we like pick things up on the way when we're out. Well, I'm just going to
Yeah.
pop into Co-op. So we don't do like a weekly shop.
Mm.
And I started doing it because it was almost something that I needed.
Yeah.
I'm going to go down to Sainsbury's and I'm
Yeah.
going to stand in that queue for 3 hours if I have to,
Yeah.
because I needed to do something that felt
That's right.
normal
That's right.
almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
it was quite interesting doing the reading on it, and how it did affect us all. And that it's because it was just a complete break in routine,
Mm.
because we need routine and structure for our mental health and
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
keep us on track. And
Yeah. To keep us happy.
yeah. Yes, and to stop us feeling out of control. I think
Yeah.
that's the other thing is to so, yeah, if you think routines are boring, they really ain't.
No, they're not. They're not actually. Um, so I am quite disorganized. Um, and last year I had Sam come and work
No,
for
no, you
me.
keep saying you're disorganised, but you've just told me all the
I
stuff you've
know.
done and how organised you are.
Yeah.
You've
But
printed off
that's
calendar sheets and everything, but yeah, go on.
but I think that's because of Sam. She's
Mhm.
really helped. She shook me up, really. She went, "What the fuck?" Well, she didn't say that, but I could see her thinking it. But she's come along and she's gone, "This is what you need to do. You need to have your structure so that your routine is the same on in the cake world,
Yeah,
per se. If on a Monday you go through all of your orders for the week and the following week, you
yeah,
write your shopping list, which is what we would have done in the shop anyway."
yeah. See, I didn't realise when you look back how many actual routines we had at the shop.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's not until you look back you go, "Oh yeah, that's what we always did on a Tuesday,
yeah,
and that's what we always did on a Monday."
yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I really think, and you cover your boards,
yeah,
you make sure they're ready. You need to um, do your ordering so that you
yeah,
know, and
yeah,
you
the
know,
bits.
and so that you can make sure you do them on this. Try and do them on the same day. I must say though, since lockdown, before lockdown, the majority of my cakes would be on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, yeah.
Since lockdown, I have them on every day of the week.
Yes. It did change that. I guess I understand that during lockdown because I used
Mm,
to do like I was doing like little 5 and 6 inch cakes during lockdown.
yeah.
And I understood that because everyone was at home. They weren't, a lot of people were on furlough. So the fact that it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it didn't matter. It
No.
didn't mean anything. So I got that during lockdown. But since lockdown,
Yeah.
since it's all like finished, it's like, is it that everyone's just embracing the time now? They've
Mm,
just got used to just celebrating whenever
yeah.
and that's that.
Well,
And
I've got cupcakes being picked up at 8 o'clock on Monday morning. I've got a 100th birthday cake on Tuesday. I can
wow.
understand that one,
Yeah.
because you can't
Yeah.
wait any longer.
Yeah.
Um, I've got a celebration corporate cake for Tuesday as well.
Wow.
So already my week of routine is kind of,
Is out the window.
yeah,
Yeah.
out the window. But you have to make sure that you've done the routine,
Yeah.
even though
So
I'm
did
really
you
that
did you build
busy.
that into last week's routine then?
Yeah, I've
Like
made,
early this week was built into last week's
yeah,
routine.
yeah,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
make sure that, because I need black sugar paste, and I made sure that I've got that.
Yeah.
I've even got a wedding on the 8th of April, and that she wants an ivory wedding cake.
Oh, okay.
I don't like ivory wedding cakes, but anyway, by the by.
I'm
Um,
sure it suits exactly
it's
what
gonna
she's
look
doing.
it's gonna look beautiful. It really
Yeah.
is. But I've already ordered that in just in case.
Yeah. So
So
you
I
know you've
bought,
got it.
because as well we live up steps, and the poor delivery guy. If I order a massive box, he's like, "Oh, you know,
Do you know what? I can imagine because it is like you live at the top of Everest
yeah,
getting to your
yeah."
front door.
Not just the driveway; you then have to go up 10
Steps.
steps. And then another few steps to get even to the front door. So
Yeah.
I've
So
been
from the
ordering.
road to your front door, it is climbing Ben Nevis,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. So I've been buying little bits
But
ready for the big wedding.
also I suppose if you can be prepared like that, you can cut down on costs, like your postage costs and
Yeah,
things.
yeah, definitely, definitely. And that was something again that Sam was
Mm.
instilling, going, don't leave it to last minute, which I'm a last minute mini. So definitely. And keep a shopping list. One of those things on your fridge, a
Yes.
magnet, a
Yeah.
magnet pad.
Yeah.
So you can write on there immediately, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to run out of corn flour." Write it on your list, and then when you do your shopping, you've got it there, and you're not
You're not
going,
rummaging.
"What was it I
Yeah.
needed?" Because I do put it on my,
Because at our age, it
yeah.
just disappears out your head.
Yes. Do you know, I was adding that I'd go, I'm going to say it now. It's going to set her off. I'm going to use a pseudonym. Okay, poo poo. Okay, poo poo. It's not good. I couldn't have used anything worse. Okay, Dougal.
Are you talking about your dog?
No, I'm talking about the machine. You know where you go.
Oh,
I'm going to say it. What
oh,
would
so
it?
like Alexa, but a different one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the other
okay,
one, the
yeah.
other model. I used to add stuff onto my shopping list on there, but then I'd
Oh,
forget and never look at it. And when I looked at my shopping list on there, it was massive. So, yeah, you can use it to
yeah,
add it to Alexa and
Alexa or
Google.
other
Google,
things.
but I'm
Yeah.
not going to say it because she'll go, hello. Okay.
Right, so let's go right back to get to the right back to the beginning. Do you have a morning routine?
Well, yes, I do. I have a morning routine even before I've started work.
Yeah, see, I have a morning routine, and if you don't do that morning routine for any reason,
It it means I'm at 10 o'clock. I'll be going. Oh, I'm sat here looking at Instagram.
because I mean, I have a morning routine, and it's just little things like the order that you get up and let the dogs out and
Yeah,
put the kettle on, all that sort of stuff. But recently, so we moved last October, and we've been having like bits and pieces being done around the house, and all of a sudden people are turning up early because
yeah,
workmen turn up early, and I'm like,
yeah,
right, I'm going to have to get up and get dressed straight
yeah,
away, and then I can go back and do other, and it's just blows my mind. I can't operate if I
yeah,
haven't done the routine in the right order.
yeah. Well, I don't know if it was you I told, but I have into my phone set my alarm goes off at 6:30.
Hmm.
I need half an hour to wake up. And then at 7 o'clock, it says, get up and have your coffee, let the dogs out. And then at 7:30, after I've done all that, it's like, get showered. And so the
So you've got
alarm,
your routine actually
yeah,
in your
otherwise
alarms.
I get interrupted.
Oh, you get
I get
sidetracked.
sidetracked. I'll start
Yeah.
doing this, that, and the other. So I've got it instigated. Load the dishwasher, load the washing machine. And then at 9 o'clock, though I have changed it today, I've started work at 8:30.
Right. Because you've got so
And
much to
then,
do.
no, I've changed it in my phone. So I'm going to do
Okay.
my emails between 8:30 and 9:30,
Right.
allegedly. No, I'm going to. And
You
then
will do.
I'm going to start. I can start. I've done all the admin,
Yeah.
and then I can start doing the
Yeah.
other stuff.
Yeah. See, I don't always get up at the same time.
Mm,
Um, but it's within half an hour
yeah.
ish. Because sometimes the dogs decide that they really need to get up
Yeah.
earlier than actually when I say dogs, Alfie decides that he really needs to get up and go
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, there are certain things, and what sidetracks me is if Jules has suddenly got a meeting at say 8:30. And I'm like, what are you doing here in front of me,
Yeah.
making porridge ready for your meeting at 8:30? You don't start work till 9. So why are you here doing this now?
Yeah.
And it just, the whole thing just puts me off kilter for the day.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
to try and claw it back
Yeah.
is really hard.
Definitely. It
Yeah.
definitely is.
Yeah.
But I think I've written all my notes today, and it's little things like set small goals um, as too many habits. If you want to set a routine
Yeah.
and you've gone, right, this is what I need to do. If you have a big, massive, long list of all of
Yes.
these
Yeah.
routines you want to set up, they probably aren't going to work because you'll go, right, got to do this.
Yeah. It's
So
like if you suddenly set a new, what you like, you see
New Year's Eve.
influencers do their
Yeah.
morning routine, and I get up and I have a smoothie and then I do a workout, and it's like,
Yeah.
no, just don't try and do all of it,
No.
because
Yeah.
getting out of bed is exercise
Yeah.
enough. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know what you mean. It's like, don't set your routine too, don't be too adventurous with it, don't be too
Yeah.
big.
And be consistent with your time as well. If you go, oh, I'm gonna make my cakes, and then you haven't gone, I'm going to make my cakes at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, and I'm
Uh,
going to finish by midday.
yeah.
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
you've left that door wide open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wide open for faffing.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and be prepared when you're setting up a new routine. Say you're going to go, like me, I'm going to do baking in the morning, and I checked my cupboards, and oh my God, I've run out of ingredients. So I've made sure I've done a shop, and I'm going to go and pick it up at between 7 and 8 in the morning tomorrow. So
Yeah.
otherwise, you'd go to your cupboards. Right, I'm going
You'd
to
be
do the baking in the morning.
Yeah,
Every
but you'd
morning
be
at
ready for your
9:30.
routine.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's all thrown. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. The other big routine that I like to be very consistent with, because I see routines as like a tick list that kind of keeps me on tracks. It's like,
yeah.
so if I have a routine and I do it every time, and isn't it something? There's probably there's a quote, and I'm going to something about if you do something several times, a routine becomes a habit, or something
Oh
becomes a
gosh,
habit.
yeah, yeah.
If you do it, so, and it's like setting that habit and setting that routine.
Isn't it if you do it for 30 days in a row,
Oh,
then
is it? Something like that. And then it
sometimes,
becomes a habit.
yeah,
Yeah. And it's things like your cleaning routine.
yeah,
And that I have such a routine with cleaning, you know, it's
yeah,
like you do that bit, then you do that bit, you put that all the way, and then you do that little bit and that bit, then you empty the
yeah.
bin, and it's like you never miss it.
Mm,
And so you don't get to the end, and when you're ticking off your sort of like, you know, your daily schedules or
yeah,
whatever,
you've done it.
I never have to look at my daily schedule because I know everything that's on there, because it's like a
Yeah,
tick list of all the things I have to do, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. There is on the government website for the food part of it.
Yeah.
There is a schedule, so a routine for
Yeah.
your cleaning
Yeah, it's like
schedule.
the daily opening and closing checks, isn't it?
Yeah,
Is it
opening,
closing?
closing, and I think there's also a 6 week
Right.
one as well.
Yeah.
But I think after you've done it for a long time, you kind of just
You just
know,
do it.
yeah,
You just automatically do it. I know we've recently at work we've suddenly got a thing of opening and closing checks
yeah,
that we all have to do. I think because the health inspector came, and I think we did it, but we didn't have it all written down exactly.
yeah,
So we had this we've got these opening and closing checks, and none of us look at it. We just
mm,
get to the end of the day and tick them all.
yeah,
And they've all been done, and that's the
yeah,
point. They've all been done. You know, we've all got, so you know, I do a certain lot of stuff before I go, and then another person does a certain lot,
yeah,
and we're all doing it, and we all tick them through because we know they've all been done.
yeah,
Because yeah, you've got into that routine
yeah.
and ticked them all off.
That's right. Especially if you're at home working on your own as well. You have your you might not necessarily use the tick form because
Yeah,
I'm terrible for forgetting to do it. I'm
yeah,
sometimes a brilliant, but since Sam's gone, she's given me a new form. I haven't done it as much because it's too easy. Anyway, but you know, like wipe the microwave, wipe the sides, move the
yeah,
mixers, clean the fridge. Da, da, da,
yeah,
da, 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 da.
yeah. You go around and you do it all,
Mm.
but it's good because that's when you know it gets done. And the other thing the other way that one that I have a real routine with is packing cakes up.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a real routine, and it's like, right, so I put in the little card, then I put in the allergy, or I put the allergen sticker, and it's like
Yes,
all that is the like routine, so nothing gets missed and the client gets exactly what I
yes,
want them to have and how it should be.
yes,
That
exactly
little
this.
sort of, and
Yeah.
it's only like 5-10 minutes, but it is a routine. It's a
Mm.
true routine that I do the same every single time in the
Yeah.
same order.
Yes. Yeah, I do as well. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going through it in my head because like now when I cover my boards, um, I make the box and I put
Yes.
the board inside the box
Yeah.
with the board that's going to go underneath the cake, and you know, like the
Yeah.
thin one.
Like the cards and that. Yeah.
And whereas I never used to do that before. I cover the board, and then when the cake was ready, I'd make the box
Make the
up.
box and then wonder why you haven't got the right size box.
Yeah. So, so when the customer comes, you're like, I'm really sorry.
I've had to cobble 3 together
Yeah,
to get
my
the right.
order hasn't arrived as my nose is growing.
But yeah, so it's little things and little routines like that do get you out of a hole.
Mm,
Because if you do that right at the start and you've got that routine,
yeah,
then you know by the end of the week that if you haven't got that box, you've been able to get it from somewhere, you've been able to
yeah.
sort it out.
And as well, so say you've got to sort something out. Your routines are
Yeah.
so you write. A good way of tracking it is to write down what you should do,
Yeah.
like on a step by step process. So one, um, it's like if you take an order from a customer, you know that you're going to ask her for her name, for her
Yeah.
address, for her their telephone number, that
Yeah.
so on and so forth. But you can do this with your flow chart. So, oh, not flow chart, a step process, or you could have a flow chart.
Yeah, I was gonna say flowchart. Look at you. Flowchart. I
And
don't
then
recognise you anymore.
who is she? No, I can't do a flow chart. I can I can say, someone, can you help me? I could colour one in, but you could,
I can make it look pretty.
yeah. And then you can stick this on your fridge or on your wall, and start work in the morning. You know you're going to start work at 9:30. You're going to do all your baking in the morning, and then say on a Monday and Monday you could have a weekly one. Monday,
Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. These are what you do on these days.
Yeah.
You have your shopping day, and when you stick to these things, it does make your life easier.
It does. It does. It reduces all the stress, or not all the stress, but it reduces a big chunk of stress in your
Yeah,
life
yeah,
because you've got it. You're not having to think on your feet as much.
no, no,
I mean, the thing is that in business, you always get things thrown at you. So I mean, like I was just before we started recording, I was telling Sammie about my week at work, um, and it's been just one of those weeks that things keep going wrong. So, ovens have broken down. I work at a bread bakery, so provers have broken. Then the delivery man came in, and the van's broken down. So all these things that are like, there are all these crises that happen. But because everything else is sorted, the delivery comes every Tuesday. The
yeah,
or one delivery comes every Tuesday, one delivery comes every Wednesday. Certain orders go out on certain days, and everyone knows that that's got to be done on that day.
yeah,
And all that it just kind of rumbles underneath because everyone
yeah,
knows that routine. So when the
mm,
crisis happen, that's when you can put your attention to that. And you don't have to put your attention to the other stuff because it just
yeah,
happens because it's a routine. And
yeah,
then the crisis you can kind of deal with a bit easier and the stress is
yeah.
less.
There are lots of apps that you can use, which if you struggle to stick to a routine, or if you want it on your phone because everybody
Yeah.
uses a phone. There's one called Routine Flow, and one
Oh,
called Habit Now. There's loads of them,
yeah.
but these are the two that came up, and I've actually installed both just to
Right.
have a look to see what they were like.
Yeah.
And I had one go off for dinner time because I told it to tell me when to make dinner, and then
All
I've
crucial things in life.
you're gonna laugh at me now because I've set one to go off halfway through this podcast so that I could prove it worked, but I've left the phone downstairs. So
It's going off somewhere.
yeah, so that
That's
plan didn't
great.
work. But there's also um, if you type into your search engine um, daily activity trackers or calendars, there are some amazing printouts
Yeah.
that you can get out there. So I use a daily activity tracker.
Right.
I also use a weekly tracker, which if I'm not so busy, I only need the weekly
Yeah.
tracker. But at the
Yeah.
moment, I'm really busy, so I'm using both. And then, as you were saying earlier, you can also get a quarterly tracker or even a yearly tracker,
Yeah.
which is just a printout. It's like a calendar, and you can, if you know that you've got a Christmas thing coming up, or
Yeah.
Valentine's or Mother's Day, you can plan that into your diary
Yeah.
or into your tracker or your calendar, and then you know that you can routine that into your routine.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you could
Yeah.
see me now, I'm like chop, chop, chop with my hands. You're going to plan it in, chop.
It's very animated.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about the planning, isn't it? It's that, and the
Definitely.
more you do the planning, the more it becomes a habit, and the
Routine.
more it becomes a routine,
Yeah,
and
very
the
much so.
easier it all
Yeah.
gets. It's
Well, think
almost like, John.
of being at school.
Yeah, yes. And school, I'm not being funny. I mean, I know people have different hard times at school for different reasons, but the actual going to school and going to lessons, that's actually quite easy because it's all handed to you as a routine on a plate,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
You have your timetable,
Hmm.
you do it for a year, and the
Yeah,
first week you might turn up to the wrong lesson at the wrong time, but you get it pretty quick.
yeah,
And that's
yeah.
the easy bit,
Yes.
you know? That's the
Yeah,
structured, that's the easy bit.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, go on.
No, it's all right. I'll let you do it this time because I
No,
keep
go on.
interrupting. No, no, it's your turn.
Well, I also think that following a recipe is
Yes.
a routine. And I mean, I don't know about you. Well, I know actually that you will be the same as me, but I have a certain way that, so I will weigh my sugar and butter, and I will let that be creaming when I go and do the next thing.
Yeah,
And then while that's mixing, then I'll go and do something else. And it's like, it's all this thing, and it saves time because at no point am I stood around waiting for
yeah,
something to mix and for something to happen.
yeah,
And it's really sort of like careful time management. But it's
yeah.
like, so when that's doing that, I'm going to do my tins, and
Ooh,
then when that's doing that,
yeah,
do you know what I mean? But it's that routine, just
yeah.
following a recipe.
Time management. I like
Yes.
that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's weird. It's, the first thing you do is you turn on your oven, then
yeah,
you start creaming your butter and sugar, and
yeah,
then you start weighing everything else, and then you do your tins, and then you start putting your eggs in, and then you start putting your flour in. It's all
yeah.
carefully managed in my head, and that's also because I don't necessarily always have a recipe.
Mm.
Because doing the egg weighing method, you don't always have to have
No,
a
that's
recipe.
right.
But it means if you have that routine, it means you don't miss out your baking powder.
Yeah,
And you don't miss out. You don't turn around and go, "Why have I still got 4 eggs on the side of the
yeah,
counter?" Because
yeah.
you've got that that thing that you work through, that
Yeah,
step by
I
step by
tell
step.
you, is baking powder is
Yeah.
something that if it's going to get missed out of a recipe, it's the baking powder.
Yeah. And
So
it's usually that you've been interrupted somewhere through.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I have my routine of sieve the flour, add the baking powder, 1, 2, 3 teaspoons.
Yeah, but if someone walks in at the wrong time
Yeah,
and interrupts your flow and interrupts your routine,
yeah,
that's when you turn around and go, "Those 3 eggs are still sat there. Where
yeah,
are they meant to be?"
yeah.
Did I put all the eggs in, or were
Yeah.
those
Oh, there's
spare,
egg
or
whites. Why aren't they in the cake that's in the oven?
I remember actually you created a whole new recipe
Yeah, I did,
by
didn't
forgetting to
I?
put chocolate in the chocolate cake.
No, I put the chocolate in at the same time as the milk, and the milk turned it marbled because the milk was very cold.
And it's the melted chocolate solidified.
Yeah, yeah,
And we had a whole new, it was
yeah.
chocolate speckle cake, if I remember.
Yes,
And people actually ordered it,
yeah,
specifically ordered it.
yeah. So there you go.
Because you'd obviously got interrupted somewhere in your routine and it all
Mhm,
went a bit wrong.
mhm.
That was so funny. Oh, what other routines do you have as such? So you've got your
um,
morning, cleaning, packing, recipes.
End of day.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, so I'm very messy, and
People must just imagine your house is an utter shit tip. It's not,
it's
people.
not,
It's
no,
not.
no. But my dining room table is where I work,
Yeah.
and I do try to tidy up. I mean, obviously now it's covered in cupcake boxes, But I do try to tidy up at the end of the evening so that we can all sit down,
Yeah.
or whoever's passing, whoever's eating at the same time as me will come and sit with me.
Do
Uh,
you do you put all your so like if you were doing your washing up, do you put everything off your draining board away and tidy it all
it
away?
depends how much it is, because I did tidy and clean up about 5 o'clock today,
Right.
and I I had loads of washing up there that I'd already done that was drying. I dried all of that, and then I had about 4 or 5 tins.
Right.
So I've
Yeah.
washed those up and they're still there.
And they'll still sit there, yeah.
Yeah.
I just have this thing I like to come down in the morning to a clean kitchen.
Mm.
And again, I think that's part of my morning routine
Yeah.
that you walk into a clean kitchen and it starts your day off, or it starts my day off better. I
Yeah.
start more positive. If the thought of coming down and la- starting work with last night's
Yeah.
mess
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
depresses
Especially
me a little
baking
bit.
mess. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like even when we had the shop, there was something really upsetting to walk in. I mean, and I know we used to do it some days. We used to go, oh, we just need to get out of here. We just need to get home.
Mm.
We'll do the washing up tomorrow. But then the thought of walking in the
No,
next
I
day and
don't think you ever really let us do that. You'd let us do the washing up and leave it to dry,
yeah,
but you'd always
yeah, the
go,
washing
no,
up had to
come
be done.
on, let's get this washing up done. Otherwise, you've got
Yeah,
to come into it in the morning. I can't actually remember you ever saying, but I know.
clearly this has been one of my little quirks for a long time.
But I know, like we that time we did the thing at the town hall, and it was really late. We were absolutely shattered, and you went, "No, we'll just do it quickly."
I bet what I did was I bet I went, I'll do it. It's fine. You all go, and then you all went, we'll do it with you.
Yeah. So yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's quite right, because there's nothing worse than coming down and it's a
Yeah, and just it's
ugh,
starting one day with yesterday's rubbish.
yeah, yeah,
And in my head it just doesn't work. It's not a healthy way
mm,
to start work. And I do also cleaning as you go. That is a massive routine that I like to
yeah,
get into,
yeah.
you know. So I've
I
one
can say I'm much tidier in the kitchen, tidy as I go, than I used to be.
right.
So
You know, you were I never remember you being messy in the kitchen. Decorating table. I remember
yeah,
the decorating table used to always be a bit of a yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it was like someone had just set a bomb off
yeah,
in a fondant factory. Um, but the kitchen always that was always like kept clean and kept
yeah,
going.
yeah,
Um, yeah, and see, I know people that buy multiple like bowls for their Kenwoods and things like that,
mm,
and I'm like, no, I would rather just have one that
yeah,
I then put and wash and start again.
yeah,
Because otherwise, you end up with just a stack of cleaning, and that's the other
yeah,
thing. Clean as you go, you don't end up with a stack of cleaning at the end of it,
yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely.
because then that just
Do it as you
gets
go, because
yeah,
there's nothing worse than you've had
yeah,
a horrible day, or you're running late on something and you haven't done the washing up, and you
yeah,
need something, and you've got to go through all of the washing up to find that one
yeah.
item at the bottom.
And then you end up with a landslide of washing up.
I can hear my phone going off.
How long does it go off for? Will someone turn it off?
It's stopped now.
Well,
So I
it
guess
works.
yeah,
We're halfway through. It works.
yeah.
That's great.
Is it going to
Oh,
go off for the
is it going to keep going off?
it's not going off now.
So, what was that app called?
It was either Routine Flow or Habit Now. So I
That's
set an
great.
alarm on both.
That's fantastic.
One's more um one's more routiny and one's more habity. If that makes sense. One was
Mm.
more do some meditation,
Oh, okay.
and the other
Okay.
one, so but I think you just tweak them to
Yeah, to
whatever.
your own.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So,
everybody's different.
everybody's different. So, what is your weekly routine? So, you at the moment you go through all your cake orders on a Monday. You
Yeah.
write down everything do. You
Yeah.
do all your
Yeah.
shopping.
I try and do that on a Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah,
And then um, I try and do all my emails and admin on a Monday and Tuesday because it builds up from Friday, Saturday,
yeah,
Sunday if I haven't had a chance to do it. And then Tuesday afternoon, I hope and pray that I can start making stuff.
right.
And then Wednesday, I'll probably do my baking.
Yeah,
And then it just follows through. Then you do your crumb coating,
yeah.
and then you leave it to sit, and then you cover them, and then you decorate them because you've made all the stuff at the beginning of the week when you did your plans, and then your boards were covered at the beginning of the week, so it all
And it all
comes
just fits
together
together. It all just fits. And
most
you
of the
write all
time.
yours. You are a handwritten
Yeah, I
planner.
I just cannot get. I have to use pen to paper. But if you're a
Yeah.
laptop type kind of person, or you can do it all on your phone and write your scheduled,
Because
so
there
be
is
it.
Trello and there is Notion. We've actually got a cake planner on if you go onto our website, I did a cake planner in Notion, which is
Yeah,
similar to Trello,
yeah.
which you can purchase for £5.
Ooh,
And it's got everything in it. So you put in your cakes at the top, and then that proliferates down into a calendar, and then that proliferates down into things you've got to make and what you've got to bake,
yeah.
and it creates like all the lists. But if you're not that, that's for people that like tech,
Yeah.
that
Well,
like to work on the
that's
phone.
Sam. This a lot of this stuff has come from Sam, but she had it all. It was all on her computer, so
Yeah.
she would have definitely done it on there. But I'm old school. I like a pen and paper.
Yeah, I like a pen and paper. I mean, I've got a weekly planner. So I like to write a list of everything I've got to do at the beginning of the week, and then I don't time block. I I really struggle with time blocking.
I'm getting easier with, and
Right.
I actually finding that it does help me because it's so easy to get distracted with bloody Instagram and oh, has the payment been made? Oh, and
Do you know
off
what
you
I
go.
do you ever do that thing where you pick up your phone to do something and then half an hour later you go,
Yeah,
"What?"
I've written on my list in brackets. Ignore your inner voice.
But what's really hard is if you know that you've got to go onto Instagram to message someone.
Yeah, yeah,
Just just and then you
yeah,
just get lost.
yeah.
So, but
Very
yeah, so
much
I
so.
have a weekly planner that I write down everything I've got to do in the week. I then put things into days, but say time blocking, I don't know, I just find time blocking really like too restrictive
Mm.
almost.
Mm. It really keeps me on my toes.
Yeah,
It makes me work a lot faster.
right.
You
Because it
know,
gives you definite
yeah,
deadlines of,
because I'm my own boss, so I can do what I like.
yeah, yeah.
So
I think also the other thing that I think being a cake maker, if you can't work to a deadline, you're screwed.
yeah,
And but I find that because so Jules, my husband, is an engineer.
mm.
He can work to a deadline, but he is really prepared. So if we're going, say for example, we're going on holiday, he's packing the week before. He's got his case out, he's putting little bits and pieces in, he's got a list of everything that he's taking because he's an engineer.
Mm.
Me as the cake maker, I'm last minute
Mm.
because everything as a cake maker has got to be done last minute because you don't want it to go stale. And so I'll be packing the night before.
Mm.
And it drives him mad. He's like, I don't know how you can be this disorganized. It's like, no, 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 it's not disorganized. I'm working to a deadline, and that's
It's
how I work to my
organized
deadlines.
disorganization.
I'm going to quote that to him next time. When he goes, have you not packed yet? It's organized disorganization.
Yeah. Or you should flip it around. Actually, it's disorganized organization. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's just, but I mean, I'm good at working to a deadline, but I work last minute to a deadline.
Mm. Yeah. I work better to a deadline.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there are some things in my life that I kind of go, yeah, I'm going to do that. They've not got done. They're
Yeah,
sat there. And I have to give myself deadlines
yeah,
and then build in a routine to get that done.
yeah.
Because
Very much
otherwise
so.
it'll
It's out
trundle
the
along.
window.
Yeah.
Dummy cakes. That, to be fair, I need to put this out there to everybody. I
Go
need
on.
to make some dummy cakes.
Right, you are now accountable.
I've
You
got a
are
beautiful
accountable.
I've got a beautiful design downstairs, and I'm already started thinking about my cake international, and I think, oh my God, if I start on that, I'll never get my dummy cakes done.
Have you actually entered Cake International?
You can't enter yet.
You
I
can.
No, if they've released the
Oh, they've
information.
released the schedule.
Yeah, and it says thingies to follow, because unlike last year where I didn't enter because I forgot, this year I'm entering now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
so
Okay.
I'm on it. Every email they
Okay.
send, I'm opening it up. But they have released the
Yeah, the
competition.
schedule is out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I saw that. The
It's really
schedule's out.
interesting.
It's a really good schedule this year.
Yeah.
Anyway, we digress.
Yes.
I can't remember. I can't even remember where that was going. Yeah, but no, you are now accountable. You've got to do a dummy cake.
Yeah.
I will ask you in a couple of podcasts' time where that dummy cake
Oh,
is.
shit.
Right. Have you got anything else to say about routines?
No, I don't think so. I've one habit at a time,
Yeah.
and focus on starting. And I've even written, enjoy doing it. Enjoy your routine.
Yeah, well, otherwise you won't keep to it though, will you?
No.
You should enjoy
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah.
And that's why I said don't try and copy someone else's.
Yeah.
Don't see an influencer somewhere and go, yeah, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Because you
And
probably
my
won't.
so my morning alarms, I've just recently set this up.
Yeah.
But I've been doing it for a good few weeks now, and I really like it. But at the beginning I had to tweak it because some things weren't quite right. I wasn't like, I'd run over on this and then I'd have loads of time left on that one, so I just
Yeah.
tweaked it to suit me. And I guess that's like with any routine.
Yeah, but that's what will keep you consistent. That's what will keep you
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah.
And that's what will keep your life more
Organized.
stress-free and your mental health better.
Yeah.
Because that's at the end of the day, it's all about being happy.
Yes, it
And if
is.
you're not happy, then what are you even here for?
Yeah. You need to change your job.
Yeah. Yeah. Right, that was deep.
Yeah. Shall I
Right.
lighten the mood?
Come on then, lighten the mood.
It's time for product of the week, product of the week, product of the week. There we go.
How low can you go?
I can't go that low, actually. No. But it is your turn to go
is
first.
it? Right.
Yes.
It is my turn. Right. So we were talking earlier, I think actually before we started recording, because Sammie's been making a lot of buttercream recently for cupcakes. And I'm like, oh, mine is buttercream related. Mine is actually icing sugar.
Oh.
But it's a very specific icing sugar.
I'm going to be really annoying.
Go on.
I've only got 5 minutes power left.
Oh, right, okay. Right. So mine is, I'll be really, really quick. Mine is silver spoon icing sugar.
Oh, really?
Yep. And the reason I'm going silver spoon is because it's free flowing. So if you get Tate and Lyle,
yes,
or Sainsbury's, or even Aldi, I think it's Aldi or Lidl, I can't remember which one.
Yeah,
Their
it's Aldi.
anti-caking agent is maize, and it's lumpy, right? Silver spoon, they don't use maize. They don't use maize, so it's free flowing, and it makes for I find a better buttercream because it just
it just looks nice.
Doesn't clump.
Lidl one, and I think that caking agent isn't vegetarian or vegan, but Lidl's is vegan.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because some icing sugars I didn't realise have bone in them.
Yeah.
And that's what makes them non-vegan and vegetarian, because they have grind out bones in them. But silver spoon I've really liked because it's a really fine, really, really fine grain. It doesn't make grainy. Yeah, right, go. Got 3 minutes. Go, go, go.
So mine is also weirdly I butter icing whatever the word is.
Yep.
It's icing and frosting whitener
Ooh,
from Ingenious Edibles. So you start by adding a few drops of this and mixing it with your buttercream, and you
right,
build it up until the desired whiteness is happens. But if you've made your colours too bright, you can also
right.
add this, and it will dim it down. You can get them
Oh,
in small. I think there was a 50-gram pot. I've got a 100-gram pot, and it was $3.99 from the cake decorating company. It's suitable for vegans and vegetarians, and it's pretty good. I quite like it.
nice,
And this is
nice.
the first time I've ever bought it. And it
I used to use I can't remember what it was called. It was the Sugar Flare whitening. It was a powder. Um but then that's been banned. I think that's on its way to
oh
being
right,
banned.
right,
But so this might be a new product that's not on its way to being banned because
uh-huh.
it was something I can't remember what it was. Titanium something or
Oh
other.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. And everyone wants white buttercream, let's face it.
yeah.
Right, how much time have we got?
1 minute. I'm on my last minute. So I'm going to say bye 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 bye. It's got 1% remaining. Should we just talk until I
Until you
disappear?
die. Yeah, because
I
you may
can't.
never die.
How unprofessional is that? I thought I'd had it plugged in all day, so I obviously hadn't. Because when I came up, I was like, oh, there's the dog barking. Well,
Right.
have a lovely evening, and I'll
Yeah,
see
and
you.
you. I hope you get your cupcakes made, my love.
Yeah. Well, they're all done. I've just got to box them up now.
Enjoy that
Yeah.
that process. Enjoy that routine.
Thank you. Bye 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 bye.